live.
All right. How about it, Hanrahan? This guy needs no introduction, none whatsoever. How about it? Come on, you can do it. All right, how about if I introduce Max Stairs?
Hey guys. Quiet night. Not drinking enough yet? Get those shots in us. Let's go. Get that Canadian. Oh wait, it's American beer. Never mind. You'll be a while before you get drunk.
All right, couple things. This is a big night for a couple of different reasons. The first being our first show for 2023, and we got a great year planned. I want to thank Jimmy Clark, his staff. Take care of the people behind the bar.
Without them, the show doesn't happen. So take care of them.
What happened?
So just take care of them, right?
Absolutely. So there's a big event going on here in March, along with March Madness. I want to pass the mic over to Brian Friel. Tonight's show is in honor of his son, his family, and we're gonna do this upright. So let Brian do the introduction, and then we'll go from there. Brian.
Hello, everybody. March 4th, we're having a benefit for St. Francis Ministries in memory of my son who passed away 3 years ago. And we obviously very upset, but we figured we're going to do something good. So this is the mess that happened. So Clarky graciously gave up the place for us. On March 4th, we're having a big party here from 1 to 5. Live music from Round Tower, food, beer, wine, and I might even sing if they let me. I won't sing if you don't want me to, that's all right. But if you come out March 4th, 1 to 5, I'd be grateful, very grateful. If anybody possibly needs tickets tonight, I'll be at the bar over here. Thank you, Carl. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you.
Anybody know anything about Brian Friel and his Southwest Philly days, his MBS days, his West Catholic days? Come on, give it up for Brian Friel. So tonight's raffle prizes, which, by the way, I think may be the best ever. I got a thumbs up from Big Jason. Yeah. All right, I like it. So all of that money is going to the Tim Patrick Day. So dig into your pockets. It's 2 free ones and $1 for any extras. Come on, give up lunch tomorrow. $10 at Wawa for sure. Buy some extra tickets. What do you say?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to remind you throughout the next hour, because we need to build a nice little check for the St. Francis House. So let's do this upright. And again, I want to thank Jimmy Clark and all the staff here at Hanrahan's. We do this once a month, and the crowd seemed to be growing. So. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I think our guests might have a little bit something to do. I think Max Stairs, pretty famous home run, shot heard around the world, almost.
It hasn't landed yet.
No, the ball hit in Vegas. LA's still pissed off too. Am I allowed to say that on
You
Facebook?
can say whatever you want.
No, I can't. My wife's here. I gotta watch my mouth.
So we'll get started here with a little question. How was it throwing out the first pitch from the playoffs? And how loud was that crowd compared to you guys?
Well, I tell you what, it was, first of all, it was awesome. The Phillies brought us down. I brought my wife, my 3 daughters, my grandkids. We had a blast. They put us up. I've only been nervous once in my life playing baseball, and that's when Roy Halladay was pitching, and I had to play defense behind him. So I was afraid to make an error. But I'm telling you right now, when I walked out on the mound to throw the first pitch, I knew Schwarber was catching it, which helped out a lot. I never realized how far it was to home plate. And all I could think of was, if I bounce this and hit him in the cojones or in the face, break his nose, I'm going to go from being loved to hated. So it was fun. It was nice. And as far as the crowd goes, as a ball player, I can block it out. I never heard a word.
Oh, okay.
Like I honestly almost missed the first pitch because I was in the batting cage talking with 2 coaches about hitting. And I'm talking. And I said, well, what time is this? They said, well, it's 50, whatever it is, 47 or 57. And I walked out, and I had 6 seconds to get to the mound until the first pitch.
Oh, wow.
So I almost screwed that up already. So, but it was special. It was nice. They won. Schwarber and I talked. I said, get on the board early. He said, I'm going to try. I said, my sister could try. Just do it. He hit a home run. It was nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask you next, what was said, and, your words got to him good because he hit the home run to lead off the game.
Well, he was just, he was on fire, right?
Yeah.
He would get his pitch, he wouldn't miss it. And that's the key about power hitters is when they make a mistake, you make people pay. And he never missed his pitch. Strikes out quite a bit, but
That's baseball today.
well, yeah, it is. It's a home run and strikeout, and you're making $36 million, so you got. But it was nice. It was nice for him to go on the board early and get the crowd because the crowd was unbelievable.
Right, exactly. That's for sure.
Lauren's going to be floating around the room, so I'm sure you guys got tons and tons of questions, comments. If you'd like to, to see Lauren, with the microphone, feel free. Again, the raffle table's right up here. See Emily, see Henry, and I'd like to welcome Ginny. Ginny is our first time guest here tonight, so welcome Ginny. Welcome Wally, welcome Steve, first timers. They're part of the Delaware Destroyer crew. So there's a little heckling going on already, so we'll have to call security probably.
Absolutely.
But like Carol said, if you have questions that you've always wanted to ask or are interested, feel free. I will answer. I don't hold back either, so I speak my mind. I am Canadian, so I will speak my mind.
Everything's on the table, right?
Yeah.
So what are you thinking of the way the team's looking this year with the additions? And
I think with one addition, might have been a shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge.
Right.
He's a game changer. Is he Jimmy Rollins? No. Is he close? Yes. But he's a tremendous shortstop. Trey Turner's going to bring in a lot of energy, which I think they need at times.
Right.
They love the long ball, they love hitting the home runs, but he's going to get on base as well and just be a nightmare for teams.
Yeah.
So I love that. It's been a good offseason for them. They've done a nice job. Harper will be back probably by the All-Star break, but they'll be fine.
Yeah. And I think with the elimination of the shift, I think that's going to be a nice addition to having Turner as well, covering the ground over there and shortstop to, help out with.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to see baseball play like baseball again.
Right.
No shift. I know there's a few different things with the bigger bags and the speed up rules, whatever. I honestly believe the only 2 teams that should have speed up rules are the Yankees and the Red Sox because it takes forever to play there.
Right.
I honestly believe that umpires are afraid to make mistakes there, so it takes longer. That's my opinion. But I think with the shift, it's going to be nice to see. You're going to see actually hitters trying to go back to swing the way they usually do and hit the ball and play more often.
And we had talked about this with Morandini and Mill Thompson the past couple shows, and they had suggested maybe even the 4th outfield. And I didn't know that was a chance, but they're actually thinking that they might actually have a 4th outfielder mixed in the role. So.
Well, the only way you're going to have a 4th outfielder is if he plays on top of the wall. I mean, realistically, I mean, it's all or nothing nowadays in
Right.
baseball. It's you hit the home run or you strike out. So why not have the fourth guy that roams the top of the wall? Put a platform out there and hell, he can run back and forth to left and right field. I mean, you might as well. The fourth outfielder is just going to be another shift.
Right. Yeah,
And
and
that's-
outfield shift instead of.
Exactly. And now how far can that fourth outfielder play in the outfield? Is he going to have a half moon in the outfield or right field to throw runners out? You know, there's a lot of different rules that would come up with that.
Right.
How about let's go back to play baseball the way it used to be? No shift. You take the second baseman out. You can destroy the catcher at home plate. You play the game like old school.
Exactly. That would be nice.
But I get it. There's a lot of money out there. You have to protect the money and stuff. But
You had mentioned it a little bit already, but what do you think of the enlarging of the bases? It kind of seems a little stupid to me, you know, but you being a player, what do you think about it?
well, I think again, it's all about protecting players. I mean, you're making tons and tons of money playing a position. You don't want someone to blow their shoulder out, to get their Achilles stepped on, lower back injuries, which happen quite a bit.
Okay.
So, am I against it? No, because you're protecting your second baseman. You have to slide straight in. You can't take catches out anymore. Pitches are not hitting anymore, which is protecting them. So you must protect the first baseman, but with a bigger bag. And, today was the first time I've seen on TV. It's quite a bit bigger, but it's going to protect first basemen and protect guys running down the baseline.
Right. Yeah.
So, unfortunately, everything's changing. People might not like it. Do I like it? No. Does it matter what I like? No.
No, exactly.
But I'm going to speak my mind, and it's part of. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's roll this back a little bit. You talked about the 08 team a little bit. I kind of feel like Jimmy Rollins might have been special, but how do you compare the 22 team to the 08 team?
Well, that's a good question. I think the more consistency of the 08 team, you know, we didn't rely on one guy to be that superstar of the game. I know it sounds weird, but like, we didn't expect Ryan Howard to hit a home run every at bat. We wanted that to. It's the same as with Bryce Harper. If Bryce Harper didn't hit a home run that game, you know, Reese Hoskins or Schwarber was hitting a home run. You know, I think we had more depth in the lineup on putting the ball in play a little bit more. I mean, there's a great comparison. I mean, if you look at our team in 08, we peaked at the right time. And that's what Philly did. And unfortunately, Philly ran into a hotter team at the time that peaked as well. But I think it also is that we actually played a little bit more small ball. And you don't see small ball a lot anymore in baseball, but it's, we were good. 08 that was a great team. It really was. And the team that had last year in Philadelphia, and I think what happened is, and I think a lot of people would agree, is that they passed that first round, the confidence built, and go, holy shit, we might be able to win this. Instead of saying, well, hopefully we can get through the first round. And then all of a sudden the confidence builds, and once you have confidence as a player, it's a dangerous thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you think, you know, like you were saying with the team building, they were kind of almost built for the playoffs this year. And, you know, with the three games to start and 5, like with having Wheeler and Noel at the top there, being able to go, that they were kind of almost built for the playoffs, pitching wise, and then also, you know, with the lineup, you know, being as deep, you know, as they were this year.
Well, and that's true. I mean, you listen, in order for you to make a World Series run, you have to have a guy who's going to win a chance to win the Cy Young, and a guy who's going to be an MVP. We had Ryan Howard, of course with Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins that could have been MVPs. Cole Hamels was our guy who we knew every time he took the mound, we had a great chance of winning.
Right.
You know? And that's how you win championships, and that's how the Phillies are looking. The Phillies are, when you have 3 top pitchers, 3 guys that can go out there and you can almost bet they're going to give you a great chance to winning a game.
Right. Oh,
And
yeah.
your offense is going to take over, and your defense is, you know, they got to play a little better defense.
Right.
But, I mean, they're set up to be an extremely strong team. And I saw a stat the other day, and I don't follow baseball much anymore, but they said they predicted them 88 games.
Actually, I think it was like 83.
I mean, how much was that person drinking before he said that?
Exactly.
Like, and then all of a sudden you look at the numbers, there was guys that had off years.
Yeah.
the right fielder had a terrible year. I mean, he's going to come back and have a better year. But, I just think they're built to win, 95 plus games and get a chance to go far in the playoffs again.
Yeah, now do you think that, I disagree with the 83 to 88, whatever it was, but do you think that's because of the division that we're in? That they're going to kind of beat up on each other a little bit with the Braves and the Mets? Kind of may keep the win totals down a little bit.
Yeah, but it also tells me that they're expecting them to lose to Atlanta and to New York more often.
Right.
New York after, you got Max Scherzer and Verlander. Okay, that's a great two signings, but after that, again, it's about depth and playing well at the right time and taking care of your division. And the Phillies played well in the division over as long as I can remember.
Right.
So,
yeah. What do you think of that with the Mets having Scherzer and Verlander paying like $86 million?
Congratulations, that's great money for you guys, but I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
Right.
Verlander. I mean, you knew he was going to get that. He came back after Tommy John and won the Cy Young and comeback player, and he's just a competitor who he knows how to win.
Right.
Or does he? He's like 1-6 or something like that in World Series games or something like that.
That's very good.
So I'll take that. Well, he's actually won the World Series this year. So I mean, I played with him. I played against him. He brings out a lot of good things with other players.
Right.
I mean, hopefully he doesn't bring out too many good things for the Mets, but good for him. Good for those two guys making $87 million for two guys.
Can we talk a little bit about another Canadian, our manager, Rob Thompson? What do you know about him?
No, we did a good job last year. This is okay. I had 19 managers. One I hated, but anyway. He lets the players play. He's very good at what he does, organizing things, knowing when to speak out, and knowing when that he can allow these guys to run the locker room. The Canucks, he's a good guy. He really is, and he knows what he's doing. And I also think what he doesn't try to overmanage. And I think when he does overmanage, he realizes that he backs off and doesn't make a mistake again. He just allows the players to go out and play, and has a lot of respect for the players. I don't know a lot about his background on managing because he's been a great bench coach and a great organizer, and I know he ran a lot of things for Joe Girardi. But when you have a manager that walks in and says, "Morning, guys, here's the lineup, go get them." You're like, okay, I got his back. But it's a guy that comes in and tries to take over a locker room of where guys should sit. His pants are too long. We need to fix this, and you have that in managers. You don't have a lot of respect for those guys, and he has a lot of respect, and that's why they play so well for him. So we'll see what happens this year. As long as he allows the players to go up and play and keep on doing what he does, which is a great organizer, and they'll be fine.
It's a great organization. I like it.
Very good. Out and about.
You would talk a little bit about Nick Castellanos, struggle, obviously this year and bouncing back. Do you think that's just a coming to Philadelphia type of thing initially, like trying to prove a little too much with your first time, first year, and then it just snowballs and gets away from you a little bit?
So here's what destroyed me watching Nick all year play and in the playoffs is that he has, I call it cast. His hands cast away from his body, which means all of a sudden you're going to hit him into third base. I think he put a lot of pressure on himself because he signed a big contract. Not just because it's Philly, but wherever you go, some players struggle when they sign a big contract.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But to me, he was an easy fix. He's an easy fix. When I'm hitting the ground ball to third base or hitting stuff to left field on a consistent basis, one, I'm too heavy on my front foot, and again, I'm not going to talk about hitting. One, I'm too heavy on my front foot. Two, I'm casting away from my body, which causes everything to leap towards third base, and that's why I hit him to third base. I'm not real smart, but I would think about doing teamwork, hit the ball to right center,
Right.
and to create that proper path of hitting But again, they don't work, a lot of players don't work on the proper swing technique to get your swing in pull mode.
Right.
Like we want to get up there and hook everything, and that's hitting the ball, awesome, you're hitting the third deck foul. But we don't work on, and I'm a technical director for back home, and I work with 650 kids and coach a 15 UAAA team. And we work on path. Everything we do is a path swing, and it allows you to pull the ball properly. And that's all he has to do.
Right.
He has to get back into getting a good habit. He got a bad habit, and that's why he had a tough year. But he'll be fine. He's too good of a hitter.
Yeah, now, does any of that come back to his oblique injury? Like, would that kind of cause some of that thing, or is that just,
It's an excuse.
Right.
I mean, I pulled a fat muscle one time, and I never used it for an excuse.
Right. Yeah, not that it's an excuse, but I'm just saying, like, could that get you into bad habits? And then,
You guys catch that, fat muscle? It can get you in a bad habit, but they're professional ball players.
Right.
They should be able to get out of a bad habit very quick. You know what I mean? And you're watching film, and well, you're watching your film after your bat, you should notice that everything I do is a cast. Let's make the adjustment. But again, if you're struggling and you want to get out of a struggle, people think they need to start overswinging. So what happens? You start pulling more, and you struggle, and next thing you know, you're ticked off because Jim Salzberg's asking you a question, and you want to kill him. And, so it's
Did you hear that interview?
a very low. I'm very low. I think someone might have said it to me.
Hey, let's back up this hitting coach part a little bit, because I think, you got a lot to offer, when you're talking about 650 kids and you're coaching and whatnot. What's the toughest part? You can break it down into being a hitting coach, but when you're teaching these youngsters, right? What's the first thing that you want to share? I mean, from where where they're at and where you want to get them.
Right. Well, I think it's, first of all, you have to have a lot of patience, which I do. I have tremendous patience. And, I took over 2 years ago of doing this program, and I absolutely love it. Anywhere from, rec players to high AAA players who've gone to, make Team Canada junior team. For me, I try to make it simple for everyone. I use the same technique. When I spoke to Major League ball players, when I was a hitting coach there, to kids who were 9 years old, and just kind of, I hate saying it, dumbing it down, but just everything is just working in the middle. You cannot do anything else except work the middle when you start baseball, when you start hitting. And everyone wants to hit the big home runs and stuff, and it's like, I don't care if you want to hit a Ken Griffey Jr. or whoever you want to be, but let's do it properly. So I break it down to where I work, hitting wise, you always work with your feet up, and that's where the base starts. And, it's just, you have fun with it. Like I tell the young kids, you smell the baseball and kiss your back shoulder. It's a funny phrase, but it's an impossible way to take a bad swing, because I'm keeping my head down and I'm actually keeping my shoulder towards my back shoulder. And I always say, I don't want you kissing your shoulder, but it's just the thought process of the way you swing. That's how you kind of, I act like a fool a lot with them, and that's how we get along with it. And with the swinging and the hitting, and I started winter ball this past Saturday. We've had 150 kids sign up for it, and we have winter ball again this Sunday. So I run the program every year. It's just, I have fun with them. I show them. It's easy for me to tell you to do something, but I actually get a nice swing with the ball. Not very good anymore, but it's just, I don't know. I have good communications with the young kids and the older kids, and and I keep it really simple, and they seem to understand it.
Yeah, that's the important part. Like you said, breaking it down, being able to communicate to them. Like you said, we try to make it more difficult than it is, but it's actually a pretty simple concept. Just keep it up the middle. Obviously, hitting it's not as easy, but just the concept part of it.
Let's see. I'll disagree with you there. Hitting is easy, and I tell these kids, hitting is easy. Getting friggin' hits is hard.
Right. Well, that's right.
Like I can get up there and you can hit. You can take 100 swings. So my biggest thing right now, what I tell players, is that there's only one thing when you step in the batter's box that you can control: your approach. I can control my approach. I cannot control if the ball's going to go left center field, right center field for a base hit. But if I get up there, and that's why I think I became such a good pinch hitter, because I had a strong approach. I was going to swing at my pitch. If it didn't work, short memory, back tomorrow. But if I stay with my approach of thinking process, I was a dead pull hitter.
Okay.
But I had a thought process of how I wanted to pull the ball. And if I stuck with it, more often than the time, it worked for me. But that's how, and it's the guys that say, all right, need to get a hit here. You're done. I went 0 for 32 in 2009 for Phillies. Oh, I was hitting 300. I was like, oh, this is good. I'm having a good year. Man, did it ever humble you. I was 0 for 32, down to 180 something, and I broke out because I stuck with my game plan. And I'll never forget, I hit a pinch hit grand slam in Washington. Thank God I got a hit again. And it just got, because you stick with your program, and that's, you stick with your approach. That's something you can control. And we were winning a lot, so it didn't bother me too much. And I was going to retire, so whatever.
Yeah.
All right, we're about halfway through the show, and again, I want to remind everybody, why we're here and what tonight's all about. Besides Max Stairs and talking hitting and the home run and all that good stuff, but our good friend Brian Friel and his family, Tim Patrick. So over here, we got some awesome raffle prizes, right? And we're giving them away tonight. Everybody's going to walk home, hopefully a winner. So my friend Henry's waving the raffle tickets. If you didn't get your 2 freebies, they're $1 a piece. So give up that Wawa lunch tomorrow, buy some raffle tickets, they're $1 a piece. Dig in them pockets, Pete. I know you got a few bucks in there. So dig deep. Dig deep, buy some raffle tickets. We're gonna draw prizes right around what, 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
Right about 8 o'clock. Sound good, Warren? You good? You good with 8 o'clock? So again, I want to thank Hanrahan's Irish Pub once a month. We're back here again, February 22nd. Our guest will be Chris Terrian, Flyer Chris Terrian. So we should have some fun with Chris and his road to recovery. So we're looking forward to that. So if you guys don't follow us by now, I don't know what to tell you. We're this fan's view. You can find us in Havertown at Carl's Cards. We've been there for a while, so you got to know me by now. We're having a lot of fun with this show, and it's going to continue to grow. And you guys are going to help us make it grow. So, questions, comments? Nothing.
Don't be shy.
Come on, you got nothing for
Oh,
me.
we got a question out there.
Come on. What was that nickname back in the day? You. Wheels. Come on, Wheels. You gotta have something. You got a question. There we go.
Matt, thanks for coming out today. When you set the major league record, the 10-chip home run record, when did you become aware that was something within your reach? And then from that point, how long did it take you? Did you set that as a goal and then really go after it?
I gotta think about that. I never really thought about it. I knew I was getting close to the record of 19. I can't remember when I broke it. 2010. Yeah, 2010 I broke it. So I knew I was getting close. But it's something that you can't set your mind to breaking it, because you got to hit a home run, right? And God knows I tried to hit a home run every swing I did. So I knew once I got to 19, I tied them. It was just a matter of time before I passed them, because I knew I probably was going to play 3 or 4 more years, and I knew I was probably going to get 50 or 60 pitches at bats per year. So I had the confidence. I never really I never put pressure on it to catch it, because once I had the opportunity to pass him, I did, and I broke it, I think, in Milwaukee, on the ball that almost hit the roof. I think it went about 320 feet, but it was a home run, it counted. So I never really worried about that, it was just more of, I knew I was gonna get him, it was just a matter of time. Which someone will get me. Probably not, but they might.
Right.
Teams don't play enough anymore, and plus there's no more pinch hitting. It's all DH, you know what I mean? So I had 480 at bats in pinch hitting in my career, you know, which I absolutely loved. And I'll tell you the reason why I loved it is because I accepted it. I wanted to face the top pitcher in baseball. If I struck out, so what? I knew I had a tough job to do what I had to do. And I knew I had a great short memory. The next day I'd come back the next day and battle again. I don't think I'd ever taken a bat home. And it really bothered me when I made it out from pinch hitting, because I knew it was tough. So, and I knew I had the manager scared shitless when I stepped in, because he changed the way he pitched. He would take his closer out and bring a left-hander out to get me out of the game, which was just as good as hitting a home run.
Right,
So,
yeah.
and I know I answered your question a few minutes ago, but again, I can talk hitting all night.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of that, a bad game, a bad night, how did you let it go?
Well, it's called having a wife of 30 plus years and having 3 daughters that you go home and there's a lot more things that are more important than hitting a home run or getting a hit. Knowing that you had an opportunity 500 more times to get an opportunity to play. But I think that's why it's so tough with younger players, because they don't realize that there's a lot of time ahead of them. And they put so much pressure on them, they want to make the big money right away. And honestly, I can sit here and tell you the honest to God truth, is I never expected to get a hit. I never expected it, because it's too hard to. You put too much pressure on yourself. But when I was younger, playing in the minor leagues in my first couple of years, I was staring at the scoreboard. I'm hitting 305, that's awesome. I hit another hit, but I'm hitting now 310. Oh, great. Then I realized that just didn't matter. The baseball gods will get you. Really? You keep on watching your batting average, that's somebody, you know what's going to keep on going down, down, and down. And it's just, so I took every day like it was my last game. And I took 500 swings a day. That was my thing was 500 swings a day, ready to go.
Plus, a lot of people don't realize the game's a game of failure. You know, especially you 7 out of 10, you fail.
Right.
And you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, type of thing. So, you know, you can't, like you said, put that much pressure on that next event, because all you're doing is multiplying it out, you know, the pressure and just kind of
You start struggling, next thing you know, you start squeezing that bat a little tighter, you start swinging at worse pitches to hit. Next thing you know, that streak goes from 25 to 30 to 35, you know, or 10 to 12 to 30. And that's why I think Tony Gwynn, I think he never went longer than over 10 in his career. I mean, come on, I did that once a week. God, over 10, never. Like, seriously. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that guy was amazing.
How about a
Good question, thank you.
How about a Tony Gwynn reference? How about that, Wheels?
Wheels is smiling.
That's Wheels' guy. Hey, real quick, behind every great baseball player is a great baseball wife. How about we give it up for Lisa Stairs? She's over there in the corner, and you know, it's great to see. You know, they travel down from Canada. You know, it's just awesome to be able to call him a friend. He's done a lot of stuff with us over the years. Through my business guy, Bill Mattis. Can't be happier for everybody. We all have, you know, some bad times in our life, but we get grown, right?
We do. It's a struggle, but we get through it.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Let's have a little fun. How about a little trivia?
Well, trivia?
A little trivia. Lauren, you ready to put your track shoes on?
She's got them on. Everybody please laced up.
As a reminder, raise your hand, say out the answer. The first person with their hand up, I'll come to you with the mic.
or you will get smacked with the ruler.
All right, which team did Matt start his career with? That was a little easier than I thought it was going to be.
You're staying in Delco, right, Larry?
She's got good vision this
1992, Montreal Expos.
There you go. Do you know what date it is, smartass? It was May 29th.
And I can tell you my first, well, is that a trivia?
No.
My first three at bats was against Rob Dibble, and Rob Dibble. My first major league at bat against Rob Dibble, he got me 0-2, threw him at my head 102, almost crapped myself. Went to the bench. Next day we had a brawl against them. No, game 3 we had a brawl. Game 4 we had a brawl against the Houston Astros. I'm like, this is great hockey night in Canada again. This is awesome.
All right, and then another trivia. Which team did he finish his career with?
That was easy.
The Washington Nationals.
That is correct. Yep. That is correct. Ironically, the same team, same association, team-wise. Any choices for that reason going back through the Nationals?
They don't want me. It's honestly, so everyone thinks I have a major league record for most teams played for, but Montreal and Washington is considered the same organization. So I guess I don't have that record, which I don't really care.
Technically, you do. I won't tell you you do.
Playing in Washington was different. A lot of things changed in Washington. If I can sit here and honestly say that I wish I would have retired after my San Diego year. Washington, when I got released in Washington in August, I was so happy. Like I was. It was getting to the point where it was time to go to the ballpark. I used to get to the ballpark at 12 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game.
Okay.
I didn't want to get there until 6:59 for 7 o'clock. So I knew it was time to shut it down and night and day organization.
Right. Okay.
Night and day.
Yeah. Now, of all the teams that you did play for, we'll exclude the Phillies, but they're probably, what was the best that you played for? Or like maybe the ballpark or difference?
A lot of people are surprised when I say Kansas City. Kansas City was a sleeper town. It was a good town to play in. It was a good ballpark to hit in until they moved the fences back 12 or 15 feet. Of course, the year I go there was and Juan Gonzalez and Nico Santiago. Pittsburgh was a great time. I'm Canadian, so Toronto was awesome. Honestly, I can honestly say that every ballpark I played in as a home field was great, except for Washington. I just didn't enjoy Washington. It was nothing against the city, it was nothing against the fans. I just didn't enjoy playing in Washington. Montreal was fun back in the day. It was just, I had fun everywhere I went.
Right.
Everywhere I went, I had fun.
Yeah. And how can you not?
Yeah.
You play baseball.
Oh, yeah, hitting baseball or trying to and living a good life.
Exactly.
All right, I got the nod for the Mattis minute.
You got a Mattis minute now?
Did he explain that to you or anything?
No.
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 All right,
He never does.
I'll let Laurie do it.
All right, so our good friend Bill Mattis puts together a series of questions, and the idea is to answer whatever comes to your mind first. I've got an introductory piece I have to read first, so this is another question. So the Mattis Minute is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, and by All Star Inc. Check out ASI's eBay store and the 21,000 plus items available for purchase today. And by Buffalo Wild Wings, where you can find the best flatbread pizza around. And by Chester Crozier Hospital and CCP, the cardiologist consultants of Philadelphia. There's no heart blockage they can't fix.
All right, I'm gonna steal a page out of Matt's book. Cut the shit.
Yeah. We still haven't got that check yet.
We
No.
know he's sensitive though.
He's very
We
sensitive.
know he's sensitive.
He's very sensitive, but he's back on the bud even after having a stent put in.
And the management is exclusive property of All Star Inc. in this fans view, and no one can imitate it or copy it.
All right.
And now here we go.
Thank you, Bill Mattis.
All right, question 1. Who was the teammate you hung out with the most during your time with the Phillies in 2008?
Jason Worth.
If you had to choose only one, wings, pizza, or cheesesteaks?
Pizza.
Is it true you can drive a golf ball 300 yards in the wrong direction?
Yes.
Besides Philadelphia, of course, which team was your favorite to play for?
Oakland A's.
Did you ever call Jonathan Broxton just to say hi?
No.
There are about
I called
400.
him a bitch.
There are about 400 baseball cards of you. Do you have a personal favorite?
The Broxton home run.
Since your big home run in LA, have you ever had your ass hammered out?
Can we talk about this a little bit? Like, do we have to finish the question before I answer this?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so, I have a t-shirt, right? It says in case of emergency, use stairs. Well, I have a second t-shirt. So after I hit the home run in 08, thanks, Bill. After I hit the home run in 08, you have the press conference, you're up there, and I'm talking to the players and talking to the media and stuff, and they asked me how it feels. I said it was awesome. I was so worried about running the bases. I didn't want to trip. I said, there's no better feeling coming in, getting your high five from the players, getting your ass hammered, cheering everyone on. What do you think they took out of that? Stairs likes getting his ass hammered. Yep. So they made a t-shirt. I kid you not, they made a t-shirt of me bending over, grabbing my shirt, and smiling. So whatever. And that was the dumbest thing I ever said. So we won the World Series. Exactly.
I need one of those.
No, you
t-shirts.
don't.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
In order of most to least regular season games played, can you rank the top 5 teams you played for?
Top 5 teams. I will say 2008 Phillies, 2010 San Diego Padres. And the reason why is because we were supposed to be the second worst team, and we lost the last game of the year to the Giants, who won the World Series that year. Probably the 09 Phillies, the 99 A's. I think we lost to the Yankees in the playoffs. And then probably 95 Red Sox, when we lost the first round to Cleveland Indians.
How many dogs, cats, and grandchildren do you have now?
I have 3 dogs, 14 cats, and 2 grandkids. 9 of them are rescues and foster failures. And you should know that because we work together with animals. So,
If the Phillies asked you to manage a minor league team right now, would you take the job?
no.
How about Major League bench coach?
Do they have one? Do they have one now?
They have an opening since Rob Thompson is down the manager.
Then yes.
And that's the last minute.
There you go. You survived.
I like that question. Yeah. Any other questions?
How about some more trivia? Oh, Wheels has got a question. Go ahead, Wheels, let's do it. Come on. It's always a good one.
Hey, Matt, it's actually, I have 2 questions. Touched on the signing of Trey Turner and your thoughts on will he lead off or short or lead off? And my second question is, what's your opinion and pros and cons of analytics?
Trey Turner should lead off. I think I'd rather have a 2-run shot than a solo shot to start the game off. So I think he should be at the top of the strikes at the top of the lineup. He sees more pitches. He works the count more, so I think he get into the bullpen quicker. Analytics, I'm not a fan of. I think it's just something that, well, if I'm going to be a bench coach for Philly, I better watch what I say. I think with analytics, it's always been there, but trust me when I say when I was a broadcaster, we were supposed to talk about it. It's just something that you're supposed to talk about. Like launch angle, Okay, it's hit the ball far. We thought launch angle was hit the ball in the gap. Oh, well, shit, someone came up with a launch angle name for it. Hit exit velocity. Well, we've always talked about hitting the ball hard, so someone just got real smart and said, let's do exit velocity. So I think a lot of the analytics has been around for many, many years. It's just now that someone got smart and said, okay, we're gonna do exit velocity and launch angle. With a lot of the other stuff with spin rate, I think spin rate is probably the most interesting one, because we used to face guys back in a long time ago. Gil Heredia, who had a fastball, it wasn't overpowering, but it got on you, it was hard to hit. And we couldn't understand why. Well, when I started broadcasting, now I understood why, because he had a good spin rate. We never knew that back in the day. So I think that's probably a good one to where you talk about a spin rate, a proper way of getting on top of the baseball. But besides the analytics, I think some of it's good, some of it's the hitting side. It all sucks. The new swing path, and this is just me talking. I'm old school. Everyone talks about all the home runs that happen because of the new swing path. No, it's not. It's happening because pitchers don't throw inside anymore. The balls are hard. The ballparks are the same size. But when you have no fear of a hitter stepping in the batter's box, a lot of confidence. Pedro Martinez pitching inside, knocking people down, it would change the game 100%. I would love to see someone hit a home run on Pedro Martinez and flip his bat and do whatever. He's going to be on the ground. It changes a lot of things. So, analytics is fine in some areas. Some areas, it stinks. It really does. It's just for broadcasters to talk about.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming for a player, to be up there, like you said, you don't want to be thinking, and now you're thinking, oh, he's gonna throw me this, or, whatever, so, instead of seeing the ball and hitting it.
I've hit a ball probably, 110 in my life. I made a net. I've hit a ball 42 miles an hour off of Mariano Rivera that barely made third base and I got a hit. Who cares? You know what I mean? Congratulations, you hit the ball hard. I just think it's just blown up proportion, this exit velocity and launch angle, way too much. What do you feel about it?
I'm old.
It's your old school.
I'm old school, yeah. See it perfect.
Look, there's some things as being a hitting coach, and I'll give you a quick story. I'm probably out of time. Like, I'll give you a quick story. I was a hitting coach in San Diego, and they brought in a analytics guy that puts that thing on the bottom of the bat, I forget what it's called, and it teaches you to get on the plane quicker, how steep your swing is, your exit velocity, your bat speed, and everything. So I had no idea he was coming. My assistant brought him in, so whichever. So they bring him in, and he's doing all this stuff. He's talking about the swing path. So the guys are taking swings and said, well, can I try it? He goes, yeah, go ahead. I said, thank you. So I get on there and I hit a ball off the tee, and I hit it pretty good. He goes, yeah, that swing path is pretty, it might work. It might. And I said, so let me ask you a question. The two questions. I said, do you know who I am? He goes, no. I said, well, first of all, I'm the hitting coach here. Second of all, I hit 260 some home runs, so I think it worked pretty good. Don't get him in my cage again. And I got fired at the end of the season. But it's just, that's to me, it's like, if I'm going to teach everyone the exact same swing path, wouldn't you think it'd be easy for a pitcher to learn how to get you out consistently?
Right.
So.
Everybody's not built the same, everybody's not,
I got a stomach, I can get around it. If I could.
So Matt, one more thing.
Yeah.
Regards to analytics, you think it is, was analytics the reason that Zach Wheeler was taken out of the World Series game?
Who was taken out?
Zach
Or they took Wheeler out of the,
I would love to answer that. I didn't watch the game, so I have no idea, honestly. But he was feeling pretty good, wasn't he?
He was in that last game,
Yeah. And he was going through third time in the order, maybe?
He's getting ready to do it.
Probably. That's the same reason why Tampa doesn't start starters. They start their number one reliever or their number one setup guy to pitch the first 2 innings because they don't want guys to face people 3 times because the numbers go up. No shit. I mean, like I said,
Yes.
so it's just, again, I don't, Yeah. I'm gonna live in that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because I wasn't there and I don't know what was going on, so. I know he was surprised he was taken out.
Yeah.
With along with, how many people in Philly, they were all surprised too.
Yeah, he had the lefty coming up, Alvarez. You're damned if you do it and damned if you don't. You bring in the lefty, he gives up the home run. You could have left Wheeler and he could have given up the home run.
And that's what's the hardest thing about being a manager is that, you know what, I'm gonna leave this guy in, the right-hander to face the left-hander, here's the home run. Why didn't you bring the left-hander in?
Right.
So you never, you never get an opportunity to explain. Right. Bill? Nice questions.
Hold number 9. Lauren, you need a question?
Yeah, so we had a question come through on Facebook. So across AAA this year, they're gonna test out robot umpires. Your thoughts on that?
So, we were just talking about that back in the corner. Robot umpires. It's not technically a robot, right? It's an eye in the sky. Is that how it works?
I thought they had the robot comes out.
Like,
No, I think it's like a projection, I guess.
I think
Okay.
that's just the name.
Right, yeah.
So what happens at a play at home plate?
No, there's no umpire that's there. He's back there to say ball or strike, and then
He's told.
he's told.
I got you. See, I don't know, I never followed it. So what do I think of it? As long as the umpires are standing around and they're not losing jobs, I'm fine with it for a year to try. Again, why all of a sudden we decided that the umpires are the reason why the games take forever? Has taken a turn for the worst when they've been around for 100 years, so, we'll see what happens. And so I had no idea what was going on. I just knew there was no ride, there's an eye in the sky, and so they tell the umpire what's going on?
Yeah, they'll say, hey, it's a ball, and he'll let them know, but then he has to watch for fair ball, foul balls, place at the plate, that kind of stuff.
So I know in 2024, there's gonna be an eye in the sky for haters to tell you to swing or not.
Yeah. You signed up for that. Swing.
Where we at, trivia?
All right, so Matt is one of 5 Canadian players to have over 200 home runs in his career. Can you name 3 of the other 4?
Robert, was it a hand up? It was, all
He's going to give it a shot.
right.
I don't know if I can get this one.
Joey Votto, Larry Walker, and Jason Bauer.
There you go. Very good.
Who's the 4th one? Who'd you say?
That wasn't part of the question.
He said Larry Walker, Jason Bay, and
Yeah.
Joey Votto.
Justin Morneau.
There you go. Very good. There you go.
Let's give it up for Joel and Pete.
Yeah. All right, so we all know about Matt's home run against Jonathan Broxton in the playoffs, but what game was that in?
That's not a tough
Game
question.
4 in LA.
There you go.
At what time?
Yeah.
10:14. No, I'm just kidding.
You're close. All right, so also, Matt,
Is this another softball?
no.
Because that question was a softball.
Yeah, well, you have to throw a
Do you have
couple.
any hard questions?
I do.
Who was Matt Stairs' first big league hit against? And who was his first big league home run against? I'll say he played for one of the nasty boys.
You already mentioned his name.
Bob Dibble,
Jose Rio.
Jose Rio.
First home run, Tom Gordon. 2-1 curveball. Jose Canseco told me to put 550 feet. They were only 330. Go ahead. What's your next question?
My next question, which year was Matt inducted into the Canadian Hall of Fame?
2015.
There you go. Very good.
I didn't know that.
Mike, you just didn't want to get shut out, huh?
Yeah. He doesn't like that.
Where you been hiding?
In the back line.
Back by Bill.
Back on, yeah.
Don't eat my chicken fingers.
All right, and Matt has the major league record, and you do have the major league record for most games played, or most teams played for as a position player. With how many teams have you played for?
Well,
That is incorrect.
well, 13 if you count the
Oh. Well, I didn't see,
Right.
we
You
should,
said earlier.
right, when you should have 13,
That's
that's Expos and Nationals are different. Yep, so you go, you got the win, Matt gave you the win. But, and then who has the all-time record?
For position player?
No, well, you have the position player, but as, who has the most
Mozell.
teams? No. Edwin Jackson,
Oh, God, yeah, that's very good. Last year, yeah.
yeah,
That's right.
with 14, so you're only one team off.
Yeah, no, we'll not catch him. Well, see, I played in Japan.
Right.
I played 7 years in Mexico. So I played a lot more international.
So you have,
We still have the deals.
yep, exactly.
Questions, comments, we're winding down, we're gonna bring it to an end. Nobody, anybody? All right, Anthony done. We got another question here.
Who wants another trivia question?
No, we're done with the
How
trivia.
about prizes?
You want them all, Big O.
Can you talk about your time in Japan? It's kind of interesting how you started the Expos and then.
Yeah, so I was with the Expos in 92. Japan came over and they were looking for a third baseman. And I was playing the outfield. And I played a little bit of third, but I was terrible. They came over and they were scouting. I actually ended up getting really hot, hit a couple home runs and doubles. They offered me to a contract in Japan. I can honestly say the only reason why I took it was because I just had a brand new daughter, my second daughter, and it was strictly money. I can honestly say that. Then I went over there and I actually enjoyed it. It was different. I played for the team that was on the Shinichi Dragons. That was Mr. Baseball, that movie. Have you ever seen Mr. Baseball movie? 100% right on cue on how it goes. After games, they have to go home, swing in front of the camera or the window, the mirrors, like 100 times, work on their swing. They go out, get hammered, come back and play poker. That's how it was, and I really enjoyed it because I thought it was really neat how to travel on the bullet train, city to city. Then all of a sudden I fell in love with it. I wanted to stay. And when I say I went there for the money, that's not 100% true. It's probably 50% true. But I still wanted to play in the major leagues, so I figured going over there was a chance to get an opportunity to open up some more eyes. It was tough at times because when you struggle, I remember I made an error in the first inning. The second inning, I made an error. I hit the same chair on the same throw. Third time I was playing third, the ball's to me, and I got an alligator on it, and I went, oh, damn, I missed it. He took me out of the game in the middle of an inning. So it's just, they don't mess around, you know. And I think a lot of it has to do with, if a player does well, he gets a raise. If he stinks, he gets a pay cut. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, until you stink, and then you get a pay cut. But it was fun. It was a good experience, and what it did, it made me very hungry to get back to the States to play the big leagues.
I think we got another question here.
Matt, when you were younger, I'm assuming you played hockey in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have aspirations to be an NHL player, and when did that change?
I did. I think in '94 I went with the Montreal Canadiens and Boston Bruins open tryout camp. They took one player by the name of Andrew McKim, who was, my size but a little quicker. I wanted to play. I wanted to be the next Montreal Canadian. I mean, that was the thing I wanted to do. Unfortunately, I had a knee on knee and ended up tearing a burst a second, and I ended up not playing hockey again. But I think I made the right choice. But I'd still like to play one game. I play with the NHL Legends, so I'll travel around and play in Eastern Canada with the NHL Legends and Boston Bruins alumni, and I guess that's my NHL. But I love hockey, and I still this is my 20th year coaching high school hockey. So I enjoy it, and it's something that's in my blood. I can't wait to get the granddaughters playing.
We have one more question.
One more question.
When you played in MLB and Japan, which fan bases are more critical?
I'll tell you one thing. When I played in Japan, as soon as batting practice started, there was 30,000 people in the house. And they're just every player has a song. So when you come up to hit or when you're taking batting practice, they're chanting and singing your name the whole time. No idea what they're saying to me, but it was now listen, when I take batting practice, I try to lose as many balls as I can to cost the organization money. So I try to hit every ball in the stadium. And they were hitting a lot of home runs back in the day in Japan and BP. That was my game. The fan base loved it. Again, I don't know. I don't understand what they're saying. I understand the same thing. I get booed, and if I don't, I don't. So I think it's a different approach because they're so early and into the game so early. I'm talking 5 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game. It's amazing. It really is. States here, I don't know. I ignore most of the fans visiting places. And they just get old heckles. Their heckles are old. Best one I ever heard was Stairs You're on Slim Slow. That was pretty good. Slim Slow. You should swim fast, all on Slim Slow. That was pretty good. But I get tired.
Do you think playing hockey helped you with your baseball?
100%. Eye-hand coordination.
Right.
The mentality of I wasn't afraid of any pitcher. You know what I mean? It was I don't know. It was one of those things where I just had a great workout in hockey and in baseball and carried over, and that's how it was. Quick story. Surprisingly, no one asked who was my toughest pitcher I ever faced. And I'll tell you who it was. Arthur Rhodes. So at one time I was 0 for 18 against Arthur Rhodes. And everyone's like, that's not bad. 0 for 18? No, I was 0 for 18 years. Like, no shit. I went 18 years against this prick and that didn't get a hit. So it got so bad that I was coming up in Cleveland to face him, or I was coming up in Seattle, and he was smiling. I'm like, oh, son of a... He would tell me what was coming. Fastball, Thursday. I'd take a big swing right up the elevator shaft, home run. I'm like, shit. He'd say, curveball's coming. I'd sit back, get a curveball, hook it to first base. I kid you not, my last at bat, I get a base at the left field, I call time, I had a Sharpie in my back pocket, I walked to the mound, I asked him to sign it. He was so pissed at me. I said, you know what? I own you on one for my last one. Short memory. Right? 0 for 18 years. Because he pitched for Bowie in Double-A with the Orioles, and I faced him back-to-back games. He pitched against us in Bowie, Harrisburg. He punched me out 8 times with 8 strikeouts. Oh, it was bad.
So you took that one.
Yeah, 1 for 1. That's all I got. He wouldn't sign the ball. Right.
Wow.
Just kidding. Good deal.
I want to, one last go round. Anybody, questions, comments? I mean, this is as good as it gets right here, folks. I'm just kind of looking over the crowd, and very attentive crowd tonight. People are paying attention, so I think kudos to you.
Oh, that was good. I think it's good to the questions that are asked. He actually has questions too.
There's trouble. There's saving the best for last.
Yeah, common program, probably one of the top 10 in my lifetime that you did in the championship game.
Top 10? Jesus, I didn't know I was in. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I told you he was a troublemaker.
I like to make it better. Okay. Top 10. Yes. But from that moment, I know you talked about it with the high fives and the slaps and all that stuff. But that moment in time, when you were around the bases and you came in and you were on, how often do you think about that moment?
Probably every time I come to Philly, honestly. I've hit a lot of home run. I had HK's last call in Colorado, which was an emotional day. He actually talked to me the next day before he passed away. I hit a home run on a pinch hit home run in Mickey Mantle to win the game in New York. The people that know me, I don't talk much about myself, and I don't sit home and watch videos of home runs and stuff. I remember it right here. That's my video. Honestly, the time it gets brought up a lot is when I'm in Philadelphia. And I imagine tomorrow night we'll be talking about that. I got to talk for 20 minutes tomorrow night, and I imagine we'll be about that. I don't. Again, I have short memories, so I don't really, think about it too much. But I enjoy talking about it. I really do. Because I pissed the catcher off. I made 55,000 people hate me. The following year, Barry Bonds was number 1, and I was number 2 on the most hated list, which to me was awesome.
There you go.
It really was. And then we did it again the next year. Jimmy Rollins blocked him off. So it was just, I think what I think about it is that, the day of the parade and coming back last year for the NLCS on the first pitch, people still talking about it. Victor Reno's home run was just as huge.
Right.
And I sit back and go, Jesus, what if I would have struck out? Like, what would have happened if that would have, Victor Reno never got a hit, or if Chooks didn't get a base hit? But it worked out well, and it was great for the city, great for the organization, and that's why I don't mind talking about it in Philadelphia.
Well, it's been a damn good pleasure having you tonight, so let's give it up.
Thank you for having me.
I just want to go over a couple of things because I know we've, saved the best for last. So Matt's going to stick around and sign a few autographs. We're going to limit it to 1 per person, and we're going to be pretty strict on it. If you'd like to grab extras, they're $10 a piece, and all of that money goes to Tim Patrick's Day. So if you're gonna indulge, Henry, our resident accountant, will be collecting the money. So let's pay homage to our guests. Let's respect everybody here in the bar. And again, I want to thank Jimmy Clark. I want to thank everyone who came out tonight. You guys want to hold off on that line for a minute because we're not quite sure where we're going to put the table. So just hold up, and we'll figure out what we're going to do next. All right. One last, this is special. I can't say it enough. I mean, to have Matt Scares come to Delco, let's give it up. What do you say?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Don't forget to pick up some more raffles to help out also with the convention.